Jerry Neuheisel has taken all the pressure off of Nico's shoulders. The results? Back-to-back dominant wins for the Bruins.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Locked On UCLA Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for making this show your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever it's your podcast, and it's available on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. Welcome back, everydayers. This episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned for later when we have highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. And the way the Bruins have moved, what we're talking about in this shortened episode of Locked On UCLA, the Bruins have taken all the pressure off of Nico's shoulders, and the results have proven themselves. UCLA, in back-to-back wins, have put up 38-plus points in a game against Michigan State on the road. And despite the craziness with Penn State firing their coach and James Franklin, putting up 42 on Penn State is still a mighty achievement. A huge achievement for a UCLA offense that looked pretty pathetic in the first few weeks of the season, where they couldn't do anything against the Northwesterns on the road. They couldn't do anything consistently in the first half against UNLV or against New Mexico, when the Bruins looked somewhat lifeless as a football program. And then obviously against Utah, UCLA struggled early in the season. The keys for UCLA to unlocking Nico and an offense that was not just the little engine that maybe could do something. No, this is the engine that's been a sleeping giant apparently these last 2 weeks, with the Bruins going on the road and dominating Michigan State just the other day in the morning. So UCLA, what have they done? Back-to-back weeks with almost 240 rushing yards. Something that we thought UCLA would maybe at some point get to do under Deshaun Foster. You would think a running backs coach would come in, emphasize the physical point of UCLA running the football. A running back offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy in 24 didn't exactly work. We thought the physicality that Indiana displayed last season would resonate with Tino Sunseri's offense. Instead, what I thought could have been a promising tenure at UCLA ended after a few games. And then Jerry has come in with the help of Noah Mazzoni, and the Bruins have put together an offensive effort these last 2 weeks where you run the football, and simply protecting Nico has changed everything for UCLA. Now, early on in the game, when UCLA took control of this game against Michigan State, some short drives helped, but it wasn't like the Penn State game where Nico had to somewhat carry UCLA. Now, he was helped out by the running game a little bit, but UCLA against Penn State gained 300 yards rushing, a net of 269 yards rushing. And some of that, a lot of it, had to do with Nico, who ran for 128 yards, was helped out by Anthony Woods, Javian Thomas, and just a little bit of Jalen Berger. Now, in the return game to East Lansing for Jalen Berger, he was the guy that had a big game. Jalen Berger had 83 yards and a touchdown, averaging almost 6.5 yards per pop. Javian Thomas, 12 carries in a split backfield, 54 yards and a touchdown, averaging 4.5 yards. Even Anthony Frias getting in on the action, which is half as many carries as those guys. He came in, averaged 5 yards a carry. Oh, Anthony Woods, four carries. What did he do? 8 yards a carry. This didn't even have a Nico running attempt go for more than, a few yards? Nico ran for 9 yards in 5 attempts. It wasn't helped out by a big-time performance for Nico running the ball. No, it was, honestly, Nico's not one of his best games, if we're being quite honest. He had some throws that, yes, very tantalizing for the NFL scouts, very excited with how he's played these last 2 weeks, but the pressure's been taken off his shoulders. He didn't have to do anything. Not anything. I mean, everything is what I should say. He's not fully running for his life with every snap. The Bruins can hand it off. If you're doing an RPO, UCLA is proving that they can just go forward and get the ball. And some of these rushing statistics are even skewed a little bit because the Bruins had first down runs, I think some of which by Anthony Woods, that were called back again and again. All right? And the Bruins being able to target the running backs out of the backfield, swinging out. You see Jalen Berger with 3 touchdowns. He had a total of 16 touches in this game and 3 touchdowns. 3 catches, 2 receiving touchdowns, and a big-time rushing touchdown to keep the Bruins in this game. So with all the eyes on Nico, you see all these quarterbacks that have transferred, getting different looks, maybe having rough starts. Nico had one of the roughest starts for a highly coveted transfer quarterback that anybody could have seen. I went out on a limb and was like, this dude ruined his career, all right? Now you look and see what Tennessee's doing with Joey Aguilar. Yes, Nico could have done things and obviously made a unique career move going to UCLA with the way things played out and very nearly ruined his career for, basically all of his NFL potential. And then out of nowhere, UCLA says, we're serious about our football program. They get rid of Deshaun Foster. And just when Nico still can't do anything against Northwestern with the offense, you bring in Tip Skipper, who before that Northwestern game was trying to bring the positive vibes. And the program decided, let's move to Jerry Neuheisel. And with his ability to call plays, once in a blue moon, touch the button and get the plays to Nico, UCLA has just found a simplified offense, finding open receivers, crossing in front of everybody, that Nico's arm talent can hit those guys, fit into small windows, even if it's over the middle of the field, when he couldn't necessarily do that in Tino's offense. Think about all those turnovers Nico had in the first few weeks. A pick. When UCLA was going for a potential game-tying drive against UNLV, game-ending pick, that ball was tipped over the middle of the field at the line of scrimmage, leading to an interception. All right? He's like 6'6". It's a big guy. He should be throwing picks. He should be finding ways to go up the seam, go vertically up the sideline, or hit the guys on the crossing patterns, which he did sometimes against Michigan State. He hit perfect throws against Penn State, and not always have to be utilized with his legs. Because the Bruins, that was the game that mostly got James Franklin fired. Now, obviously, Penn State losing to Northwestern a big factor, but Nico single-handedly carrying that Bruins team to their first win showcase, hey, we can be a physical, smash-mouth football team that doesn't fully rely on Nico. And now the numbers showcase it. They can be a team where it's like, we can turn, hand it off. He makes the right decisions. Boom, the Bruins can go put up 35 points a game if he is even just a game manager. And yes, he had some big-time throws, made some big-time plays, 3 touchdowns, 67% completion percentage. Wasn't the gaudy 300-plus yards that I think people really want to see from Nico, that big passing number in terms of yardage, accuracy, strikes down the field for 300, 350 yards and 3 touchdowns that you might see at the college football level, that gets the scouts almost just water. It's just like, oh my goodness, Nico, top pick. No. He has taken the pressure off Jerry Neuheisel for Nico, and now the Bruins have been very successful in the red zone, which has been very tough the last 2 seasons, whether it's Nico, Ethan Garbers, whoever it was playing quarterback. The Bruins have been extremely successful in terms of scoring. 5 of 6 in the red zone. The only reason they didn't score was because the Bruins were like, all right, we'll settle for a 20-point lead, and Matej Magani had a rare, very rare mistake, missing a short field goal off the left upright. Against Penn State, UCLA still pretty dominant when it came to red zone possessions. UCLA 6 of 6. So it's not only not forcing Nico to be perfect in the red zone, UCLA is scoring in almost every chance they have when they're in the red zone. 11 for 12 while getting to the red zone with high frequency. They didn't do that those first few weeks. He was trying to throw to the middle, make the right reads. It was one read Nico was the thought. And now he's got a couple of guys he can swing it to. He can take off. The UCLA Bruins have unleashed. They said, all right, you have the range, you can go run. And then now that he doesn't have to be the only guy that runs, the Bruins dominate time of possession and run the football with not just Nico. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 backs going out there and running the football and making plays happen. A team that's like, who's going to run the football is like, everybody's eating. Even Nico, when it comes to running the ball, throwing the ball. The receivers had the ball sprayed everywhere. With Rico Flores Jr. returning, that's opened up things for Kwazi Gilmer significantly. We've seen Titus Mokia-Atsumalala, and even the Bruins hit a tight end finally this year a little bit with some Hudson Habermill. All that together to lead to an offense that's clicking on all cylinders, leading to a matchup against Maryland, where surprisingly, despite everything that happened to start this year, UCLA going from touchdown underdogs at Michigan State, at Northwestern, almost 25, 26-point underdogs at home to Penn State, and now they're a favorite at home versus Maryland. And just a quick snap, quick turnaround with Jerry Neuheisel and the Nico Iamaleava pairing have just completely changed the trajectory with Tim Skipper, of course, to UCLA in this 2025 season. And now it's like, are they going to go bowling? Is that a legitimate possibility? Despite the missed opportunities in the first few weeks of the season when UCLA should have been 2-1, 3-1. Despite that, 0-4 with one of the biggest wins in program history. And now the Bruins have given this fan base something to cheer about. And mostly for Nico, revitalized, rejuvenated the fact that, hey, this is a guy that can still go in that first round of the NFL draft. I'm not sure if that can happen this year, but if he keeps up this play and has a strong redshirt junior campaign, his fourth year in college, easily a guy that could still go in the first round. When it was left for dead in terms of NFL career prospects booming right out of college, no. Come through in a situation that seemed as lifeless as it was, this UCLA football program, no energy in the Rose Bowl, no energy for the team, getting smoked by New Mexico as home. And now the Bruins are the big, bad Bruins coming through and dominating these teams. Does that mean they're going to go 8-4, make it to a Big Ten championship game? I don't know. That's optimism through the roof. But it's something to cheer for. And this team turning it around and making it to a bowl game, huge success. Huge success to the stick-to-itiveness for the leadership of Nico, for the genius that is Jerry Neuheisel, who we might actually have to lose potentially in this coaching carousel this offseason as an offensive coordinator elsewhere if UCLA doesn't give him the opportunity he so deserves in this next coaching hire. Whether it is a Tim Skipper or somebody else, man, this is a duo that the Bruins are just waiting for a primetime slot to go destroy somebody's defense. Is it Indiana in a couple of weeks? Is it going to the horseshoe and doing something crazy against Ohio State? Now I'm just getting off my rocker because this is a team I thought had no shot to get a win just a week ago. I didn't think they had a chance to get a win. And now it's like, wow, they can go win 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. I don't know. USC looked impressive against Michigan. And I still think UCLA can go to the Coliseum and now beat them. That's how impressive these last couple of weeks have been with Nico and Jerry at the helm offensively, protecting him, being physical up front, simplifying the scheme, changing things, the right gutsy play calls on fourth down, going for it, whether it is with Nico on the offense or for the second time in 3 weeks, Tim Skipper taking his team with a fake punt for a first down. Did that against Northwestern, did that now against Michigan State, and UCLA, their last few halves of football, especially the second half against Northwestern, look like a completely different football team. Wow. Excitement in its finest. This episode is brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward moment. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than just put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. And, well, the moment has been Jerry Neuheisel just stealing the moment, helping the Bruins actually put those points on the board these last 2 weeks. But in the form of this game against Michigan State, it was Jalen Berger. Jalen Berger, a 3-touchdown performance against his former squad. You knew it meant a lot to him going to East Lansing. It was the Nico show a week ago, but it was the Jalen Berger show out in Michigan State. 3 touchdowns and 16 touches? Man, that is efficiency at its finest for Jalen Berger. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Well, that's going to do it for us here on this Locked On UCLA episode, highlighting on Nico and Jerry Neuheisel, what's kind of worked here and there. The Bruins, new energy, new life, and the rest of this 2025 season, you might have to look at mid-December to early January, folks, and save a day for a bowl game, or just be happy that this team, kind of like last year, has figured out a way in a more dramatic sense of turning it around. Now, is this a team that's a 2-hit wonder? I think it's it's going to be a little more than that, because Maryland's coming to town, cross-country road trip, prime for Bruin dominance and a rockin' Rose Bowl. That's going to do it for us here in Locked On UCLA. More coaching talk. UCLA men's basketball has their first exhibition of the year against San Diego State at Viejas Arena. Lots of fun stuff to discuss this week. Hoops, recruiting, coaching, this team, everything. So stay tuned on this podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. Hands up, Bruins fans. Loud 8 clap, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA fight by fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer signing off saying, Go Bruins.